week, IPART passed a rate increase. Now, that includes is it the 3.8 as well?
Correct, that's included in the 12%, yes.
Yeah, okay. If we talk about just go back with history. The last council tried to get a decent rate rise through. And
now, it's interesting that Chance raises this attempt by the previous council. What I can find, and I didn't pay as much attention to the previous council as I do to this one, the rate rise was 4.5%, which was in the rate cap. There was mention of I think a 44% rate increase. It went out for public consultation. It was slammed unanimously by essentially the community, and that 44% never actually went forward. So the previous council, never put forward a 44% rate increase. That figure comes from the AEC report saying that's what was needed.
It didn't happen. They voted not to do it. I suppose that's what put this current council in the position they're in, and to make some pretty hard decisions.
Indeed, yes. Look, this has been a long-standing problem.
I think that statement's disingenuous. The council did put the rates up within the rate cap, not the 44%. So blaming the previous Green Council is nonsense.
The council itself's run an operating deficit for 9 years now, so it's not a new issue. It's one that's been growing over time and effectively is at a point where we need to look at both the internal expenditure as well as our revenue issues. That's led to the application for a 12% rate increase, which is inclusive, as you say, the 3.8%.
So let's just get some more facts in here. Between 2013 and 2016, Joanna Gash was the mayor with the majority of Conservatives. Between 2016 and 2021, Amanda Finlay was the mayor, but she had no majority. There was still essentially split council. And then between 21 and 24, Amanda Finlay, this is often referred to as the Green Council, had a casting vote, but the votes were essentially 3 for each group. Now, the next lot of facts. So between 2016 and 2025, when Amanda Finlay was beaten, the rates went up by a total or cumulative of 57%. Now, if you take the CPI out of that, it's about a 30% increase in rates since 2016. Now, this year in 2025, it's almost gone up half as much in 1 year at 12%. We just need to think about facts as opposed to what people recall and what people's memory think happened.
Which is now mooted to go towards critical infrastructure maintenance and rehabilitation.
12%, what will it give the ratepayers?
Look, effectively what it will do is it'll help us to continue to provide maintenance of our critical assets and services. So things like roads, public infrastructure, bridges, stormwater, or all of those assets that can often go unnoticed but are critical just for the day-to-day running of the LGA.
People have been critical, the ratepayers have been critical of the council, saying not enough's been done, all those things like roads, footpaths, parks, all that sort of stuff. Hopefully in 12 months' time they'll start to see the effects of the 12%.
Look, at this point, I think the financial review that was undertaken back in 2023 was really clear. We've got a significant deficit that we need to address.
I think Chance here is either not listening or not understanding. Essentially what the acting CEO is saying is that extra 12% will go just to keeping things ticking over. That is, that they'll continue to maintain some roads, bridges, etc. And he sets that out. This is not attacking at all the deficit. He'll get onto that shortly in a moment, but the rate increase is not paying off the deficit.
A big part of that's going to be tackled through the $10 million in internal operational savings that we've planned for now. That plan's available on our website, and I'd really prompt everyone to have a look at that. We've integrated $7 million of savings directly into the budget for the 25-26 year, but that needs to go hand in hand with looking at our revenue options. So we know that we've had historically low rates. We've had low fee for services across a range of areas. So both of those issues need to be addressed. I would say that through the 12%, that'll help us to continue to move along with our critical asset maintenance, but it's not going to make a difference of leaps and bounds, Chance.
Is it 10 million every year? Is that what you're trying to save?
No, it's 10 million over a 4-year period at this stage. Now that'll be reviewed over time, but we've front-loaded it, so to speak. So 7 million directly into year one. We'll continue to review that to look at further efficiencies as we go along.
I find this interesting, and I think it's about James seeking to get the permanent CEO role. We need to be really clear. Patricia White and co have not, I repeat, have not put any new savings into the mix. In fact, they've spent more money by going back on the pool issues, wasting nearly $2 million on the Sanctuary Point Library and other issues. So the savings actually came from Amanda Finlay, what came out of the AEC report, and what was done by Robin Stevens. All that James and the staff have done have actually implemented or continue to implement the plan put in place by Robin Stevens. When you see Councillor Proudfoot get up and say he's greatly comforted by the work they've done bugger all work. The work was done by Amanda Finlay, the previous council, and Robin Stevens.
Now, it was a roughly 30 million we were behind before you really got into this?
Correct.
Okay, so we've got a long way to go.
We do, yes. So stepping into the role in sort of end of October, beginning of November, we were looking at about a $30 million projected operating deficit. Now that's grown over time, grew over the course of the last calendar year. It then exhibited through a lot of work, and I have to thank a lot of staff internally, and a lot of our community have worked through this with us. We exhibited a long-term financial plan that reduced that projected deficit to around the $21 million mark. We've now exhibited a draft budget with the additional work that's been done that will reduce that further to a projected deficit of around $17.5 million. So we've reduced the deficit by circa just shy of 15 million, which is huge for six or so months of work, but there's still, as you can tell, a lot of work to go.
So let's just look at, we now, according to the acting CEO, about $15 million in the red. That almost lines up with the $17.5 million that was given away in 2020 when Mayor Gash was running the show. And the only one that opposed that $300 a head or ratepayer giveaway was in fact Amanda Finlay. The ones that supported it, 3 Team Gash, 3 SIG, 2 Labor and 2 others. The ones that are still in this council that have got blood on their hands, no other than the Mayor, Councillor White and Councillor Proudfoot. So if we're looking for somewhere to lay the $17.5 million giveaway and the current $15 million deficit, there you go. There's 2 names you can look square in the eye and go, thank you very much.